Welcome everyone, and thank you for joining. We'll give everyone just another minute to get logged on, and we'll go ahead and get started. All right, welcome everyone. My name is Allison Welch, All-Tech Supplier Enablement Lead. I will be walking you through your demo today. As you're aware, earlier this year, All-Tech announced we will be transforming to a SaaS-based solution provided by Coupa, scheduled for tomorrow, August 1st. This will affect our Hubbard feed businesses and Ridley block operation. Please note that Ridley feed ingredients will not be starting with Coupa until September 1st. Regardless of the start date, this change will improve our ability to effectively transact and communicate with our suppliers. We are excited to have you join today as we share the capabilities of the Coupa Supplier Portal, or CSP. This training is designed to empower you with the knowledge and skills necessary to make the most out of this platform. Throughout this session, we will guide you through a step-by-step demo covering everything from setting up your account, managing your profile, to submitting electronic invoices and tracking payments. During this live event, should you have any questions, we encourage you to type those into the chat feature or contact us after this call via the supplier enablement address of supplier.enablement@alltech.com. So let's go ahead and get started. In order to connect with the CSP, you will receive an email notification that looks similar to what's on my screen now. This email will be sent tomorrow, Tuesday, August 1st, and will be sent to the email address that was provided to All-Tech's supplier enablement team. If you are not the right person to be the Coupa admin, this invitation can be forwarded by clicking the gray box seen here. Or if you are the correct person to be that Coupa admin, simply join Coupa. Here, you simply need to put in your login and password information if you are already transacting with customers via the CSP, or if you are new to Coupa, you can hit create an account here. Either way, you'll be brought to a homepage that looks like this. 2 helpful tips for a better user experience: we suggest using Chrome as your internet browser, and also bookmarking the CSP for later reference. On this homepage, you will see an overview of your customer profile and all the customers you are connected with, including All-Tech. This blue navigation ribbon up top includes many different functionalities of your CSP account. To get started, we'll hit Setup, seen here. And we suggest starting with the legal entity on this left-hand navigation. Here, you are able to add a legal entity by clicking the gray box, Add Legal Entity, or you can manage an existing legal entity by clicking the Actions button in this blue box. Here you can manage or deactivate a legal entity. You may select your legal entity as your remit to address, or you can create a separate remit to address by clicking Remit to, again on that left-hand navigation bar. Here, you can add a new remit to or disable one that you have already created. Do note that all remit to information must be complete before you begin transacting with All-Tech. Furthermore, on that left-hand navigation, if you click the users, the first option, you are able to add additional users from your company. Simply click Invite Users in this blue box, and here you can add first, last name, and email address. You can adjust preferences by user to see only certain customers or certain permissions. For example, if this user, I want to be able to see orders, but not create an invoice, I'd simply uncheck the box here and hit Send Invitation. Another key section of the CSP is your notification setting in this upper right-hand corner. By clicking here, you'll see all notifications available to you, and then you'll want to click Notifications Preferences in this gray box. Do note that Coupa will default to sending you all notifications in all communication forms, so we recommend doing this step on day one so you don't get overwhelmed by communications. You can choose to be notified via online, email, or SMS text. The two most important sections being Invoices and Order tab, which is located about halfway down through scrolling. So here you'll see I currently have set up to be notified via online and email for all invoice or order notifications. And maybe I decide, you know what, I don't really need to be emailed for any orders. So I'm going to unselect those boxes, make sure all the rest of my notifications look correct. Make sure you scroll down to the bottom and click Save. In order to begin transacting with Alltech, you will need to ensure your company information is correct. So again, up here on the blue navigation ribbon, let's go ahead and click Profile. Here you will see your company information, including things like primary contact, company information, online presence, etc. In this gray subbar, you'll see any information requests from your customers. Again, here in the upper right-hand corner, you can drop down by customer. Currently, we are only connected with Alltech as a customer, and so that's what's defaulted here. When you log in for the first time, Alltech will want you to verify all the customer information we have is correct. Simply scroll through. If you are already transacting with Alltech, this information will be auto-populated. So scroll through, make sure the information looks correct, adjust anything that isn't, keeping in mind remit to address being one of the most important features. Please note that EFT is also the preferred method of transacting with Alltech. If everything looks correct to you, scroll to the bottom and click Submit for approval. In the future, should you need to make a change to your information, anything submitted through Coupa will not automatically flow back through Alltech, so please contact your Alltech contact so we can make changes in our profile section as well. Further, on this third section of the subtab, you'll see something called Coupa Verified. Note that Coupa is a free service to you. Coupa will ask you if you would like to become a Coupa verified supplier, which does come at a cost. This is completely optional for your business and not a requirement to work with Alltech. Again, I want to reinforce that Coupa is free to all our vendors and will not require any fees. So now that we're set up, it's time to review any incoming orders. Go back up to the blue navigation ribbon, and you can click Orders here. Here you'll see a table of any orders that have been submitted to your company. Do note that this is not the only way to view orders. Alltech buyers will still submit POs via email as they have done previously. However, you may notice some auto-generated emails that now come from a domain name called Coupa Host rather than an Alltech email, but the look of our POs will remain unchanged. So here, you can go ahead and click any of your orders using the blue hyperlink, and it will bring you to the details of each purchase order, including item description, quantity, price, etc. Once you review any order, should you have any questions or something doesn't look correct, you can send a note directly back to the buyer by using the @ symbol and begin typing your buyer's name. And here, simply add any notes or questions you have and add comment. Assuming everything looks correct, however, You can acknowledge your PO by clicking the Acknowledged button here, and it will turn green, letting you know that your order has been acknowledged, and now your Alltech buyer will be acknowledged as well. Once the order is fulfilled, you could add tracking information here by adding tracking number, carrier, etc. And you're also able to flip to an invoice by clicking the Create Invoice button here. Alternatively, you could do that back at the Orders table, where we had all of our purchase orders listed. Under the Action column, you'll see some gold coins. This will bring you to the same feature that automatically flips the purchase order to an invoice. Here, you simply need to fill out some basic information, including a unique invoice number. If you attempt to use a duplicate invoice number that you've already used before, you'll receive this red triangle error. So make sure you're using a unique invoice number and you'll get a green check mark. Fill in the required information, again with that red asterisk. You can scan any documents that are necessary, maybe a weight ticket, add any notes. And then if you scroll down, you'll notice that the description, quantity, and price is carried through. If you need to change any of that information, you can do so by changing the quantity or price and go ahead and click Calculate here. If there's any shipping information, taxes, or handling, that can also be added. If the total looks correct, simply hit Submit. It'll just ask you that you sure you want to go ahead and send that, and click Send Invoice. Now the invoice has been sent. You can also create a credit note by clicking the Create Credit Note in this gray button seen here, or again, back on your Orders tab, under the Action column, you'll see some red coins. This will allow you to create a credit note. Again, simply adding a unique credit number, you'll get the green check mark. Scroll down. Do note that you will need to enter a negative quantity in order for Coupa to recognize that this is a credit and not an invoice. Click Calculate, you'll see the total, and then you can hit Submit. So now that we have sent some invoices and also some credits, let's go ahead and check on our payment status. Up here on the Invoices navigation tab, you'll click and you'll see all the invoices that you've created under the Alltech customer. Again, if you're working with additional customers, not just Alltech, you can sort back and forth using this drop down here. Here, because this list might start to get a little long, you can click the View dropdown and sort by different filters, such as approved invoices, overdue invoices, unpaid invoices, etc. I want to look at payment information. Here I'll see which invoices have been paid or not, their current status, due date, etc. You are also able to export any of these into a report, such as an Excel document. So I walked you through some of the functionalities of the CSP. There are many others to cover, but this is enough to get you started. So we're going to go ahead and conclude today by going over some of the frequently asked questions. Again, do I have to pay for the CSP as a supplier? No, there are no charges for you as a supplier. Coupa will ask you if you want to be a Coupa verified supplier, which does have a fee. This is completely optional and not required by Alltech. When is this all getting started? Ridley block operation and Hubbard feeds will go live with Coupa tomorrow, August 1st. Ridley Feed Ingredients will follow suit September 1st. Can I still email my invoices to Alltech? No. Alltech will ask all invoices be submitted electronically using the CSP going forward. Can I invite multiple users to my company? Yes. As shown earlier under the Setup tab, you can invite as many users as you'd like to the CSP and designate their permissions and customers that they're able to interact with. What if I'm a high volume supplier? Can I connect with Coupa in different ways? If this is you, please reach out to the Alltech Supplier Enablement team at supplier.enablement@alltech.com, and we can help identify alternative methods such as CXML. And who should you reach out if you have any further questions or need any assistance? Again, please reach out to that Supplier Enablement team with the email address you see on your screen now. So thank you everyone for jumping on the call today. We'll go ahead and take any questions that you might have. Go ahead and put those into the chat feature now. Alyssa?
The one we have is, do the POs need to be acknowledged by the supplier?
It would be our preference that you acknowledge them in the CSP, just so everyone is on the same page and all the documentation is tracked in the CSP.
Another one, can I issue an invoice without a purchase order in the CSP?
So if you are a supplier that does not receive a purchase order from the Alltech team, you are still able to create a blank invoice in the CSP. You simply check the button that says create blank invoice. If you are getting a PO from an Alltech buyer, it is easiest to click flip to invoice because all the information is going to be pre-populated for you.
Will suppliers be able to upload a PDF into the CSP and the CSP be able to format a virtual invoice?
Yeah, good question. So at this time, again, we are asking that you do submit the information by typing it in just as I had shown earlier. That allows for the fastest transaction. But again, it should be an easy process given that all the information should pre-populate for you. You just need to verify and click submit.
If a supplier is already a user of the Coupa supplier portal, do they have to accept the Alltech invite?
Great question. So you will need to accept the invite in order to be connected with Alltech, but it will not require you to set up from scratch. It will simply connect Alltech to your existing CSP profile.
Will previous POs and invoices be available in the CSP?
Another great question. No, tomorrow is going to be our go live date. So any purchase orders that were affected today or previously will not be a part of the CSP. But going forward, as of tomorrow, anything submitted, you should be able to see transact through the CSP.
How does a supplier attach their BOL to an invoice?
Sure. So we can go ahead and go back. It might be easiest to show you this in the demo. So if I were going back to the orders tab, and we're going to create an invoice here really quick. You would simply click choose a file, and you can upload your invoice from your computer here. Or you can do an attached image from here as well, if it's a different format. Any other questions, Alyssa?
It looks like that is all for today.
Excellent. I want to thank everyone again for joining our call today. Should any questions arise in the future, Please feel free to reach out again at that supplier.enablement@alltech.com email address, and we'd be happy to help you out. Thank you and have a great week.